Hey guys, it's Hannah. I am doing my first book talk. I've tried it like twice, so it might just be really awkward because I will be changing lighting and clothing because I recorded like the first, almost all of it, and then my iPad that I'm recording on was like, oh, I'm sorry, you need to back up all your memory on the iCloud, and we don't have enough memory for you to record anything other than 5-second videos. So after that happened, I had to back it up and go do everything. So it awkwardly changes lighting, positions in the room, and I don't know, like clothing and hair and oh yeah, definitely, because I was grunging it last night. You shall see. Yeah, so I'm new at this. This will be my first. Sorry I'm not like dressed up for you guys. It's pretty late. I just finished the book and I was like, oh, I should do a review. To keep things like fresh in my mind, I am slumming it with my sweatshirt, although I am repping my home, Alaska grown, all the way. Okay. Alright, so the book that we are doing today is Legend by Marie Lu, who is a great author. I like her writing style. She does really well with following the characters, but also putting it in a YA mind, so even though we're following the main character who's a 15-year-old, it doesn't feel like I'm from a 15-year-old's mind. I had to keep reminding myself, I was like, oh, she's 15. Because she did so well with just like connecting with the reader. Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick synopsis for those of you who are watching and have not read it yet. So, first of all, go read this, pick it up. Look at how gorgeous it is too, just beautiful. It's all shiny and legit. Yeah, I like it. So go pick it up, go read it, all of it, and then you can come back and listen to the next half. So, what happens in Legend is we're in the dystopian side of America that is after the United States has gone to heck. And so what we have is divided between the East and the West. And the Eastern United States is called the colonies, and the Western United States is the Republic of America. And they have no idea that the United States of America ever existed. So they're always against each other, and there's like terrorist attacks between each of them. The Republic of America, that's where we're at, that's where we follow our main character, June Icarus, who is a 15-year-old and has just gone through all this stuff. So in this world, when you're 10 years old, you have to go through a trial. And in that trial, you have to go through all of these different tests. So you have like physical test, an interview with all the psychologists where they analyze you, and it's between like 0 and 1,500 points, but nobody's supposed to get below like an 850, and that's kind of like failing. And June is a prodigy. She is the only person in history who has gotten a perfect score, so 1,500. And so she's the prodigy, we kind of follow her. And then also the protagonist, other protagonist, who is Day. And Day is a menace in the Republic, and so he goes and stops aircrafts from being able to take off and lights fighter jets on fire in a field, but he doesn't kill anyone, and that's the thing. He's like Batman. So what happens is Day becomes June's first target to go after, and that is where it follows. So those of you who haven't read it yet, I'm getting excited. I'm like, my heart's beating. Because I just finished it. Okay, so if you haven't read it and you're not as excited as I am, go read it, because you will be whenever you talk about it, and yeah. Shoo shoo. Okay, welcome back. Those of you who have read this wonderful book. Alright, so what? It's crazy, right? Oh my goodness. So when June just has to, I mean, it's so cool that she just wants to continue with her knowledge. I mean, being the prodigy, she just, goes to college at 10 years old. Crazy. And so the best institute, and then she's just the troublemaker. Like when she gets called to the dean's office, I was like, wait, what did she do? And they're like, well, you were kind of scaling a building off campus. why. We had to have helicopters to come take you off of the net. And they were like, well, she wanted to beat Day because Day could go like 5 stories in 2 seconds, and she wanted to be able to do that. I'm like, why are you punishing her for trying to continue and better herself in what you're trying to teach her? Because you're boring her, because she's a prodigy. I'm sorry, Dean of Duke University. Get over yourself. Oh my gosh, she's so funny. She's just like snarky and just the perfect, even though she's 15, I always have to remind myself of that, like I said earlier. Because I'd be reading and she's like, oh, she's so funny. She's like such an adult. Well, not an adult, but I mean like adult, young adult. Like, oh, she's amazing. And then of course, Matthias dies. I was like, how can you kill Matthias? That was just hard, especially after she lost her parents, and then she's left alone, and she's just the last one in her family. I mean, she has Ollie, but then she has to leave Ollie at the end. I was like, oh no, because I miss my dog. I completely understand that. I haven't seen my dog since September, and I'm like, ugh, withdrawal. Oh my goodness. Okay, but yeah, just crazy. And so Tice gets killed and she goes on the hunt. It's awesome how she can just like see all of the little details, right? Just like every single, she's like, oh, you're nearsighted. How do you do that? That's awesome. It's like, oh, you had a limp when she's hanging out with Day. Oh, the Skiz fight. That was crazy. Like she just gets caught up in the Skiz fight and then she just goes and saves Tess without even like knowing that that's it. She has good luck and has to go up against Katie. And she's like, oh, I shouldn't kill her, but I need to be able to get out of this alive. And then Katie, I don't like her. At first I was like, oh, she's cool at the bar. She was like, oh, she's a bartender. She's kind of flirting with Day. I was like, that's all right. But then she goes and she stabs June, and you're like, that's not okay. That's illegal. I don't care if it is a street fight. Get over yourself. And then afterwards, when they have to deal with her because she's a colony spy, and she's just like, I'm sorry, I need money and an electro bomb in order to try and get Day out, and we can only take you so far, and then you can deal with yourselves. Sorry. And I was like, no, I don't like you anymore. You're not okay. Even though she did help Tess, but still. Okay, who's next? Thomas. Thomas. Oh my gosh. At first, like, when Thomas was driving her and Matthias back from the university, I was like, oh, that's cool, because June kind of put in that little thing, like, if Matthias would think of her as old enough to date, she kind of, like, insinuated about Thomas, and I was like, oh, that's cute. Like, they work together. And then he was just kept on getting lower in my standards, and I just, Thomas, you need to die. Because, of course, he's just the perfect soldier, because he just can act so innocent when he's around June, and then just be like, yes, ma'am, Captain Jameson, I'm going to do whatever you want, even if it's kill Day's mother, without a second thought. I'm like, And when June finds out that Thomas really kills him, I really like the interaction between June and Day, especially how June didn't automatically jump to the conclusion, even though we all knew. We were like, oh, it's Day. I was like, don't figure it out, because we all love Day. But yeah, so she was just like going step by step with all of her observations until she finally picks reaching for his pendant when it's in her pocket. Oh my gosh. And then she's so like withdrawn the next day, and he's like, what did I do? I thought she liked me. I was like, oh, poor Day. She does. Just wait. She just has to turn you in first. Oh. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was so good. But what I was thinking, the pendant, like once he finally explained it, what it was, having it be a quarter, I was like, that is brilliant. I kind of want to know what's over it though. Like I know that he welded it shut, but it didn't seem like he can't have welded the actual coin because it has to be intact, because it's like secretive and people have to be able to find it, and it has to be a piece of evidence. So the last scene is crazy when they all go out. June is escorting Day out to his execution by the rifle team, and then Thomas comes and is like, you're under investigation. I was like, this is not the best time, Thomas. Get out of here. I was like, oh my goodness. You just need to leave. You just stop. Just stop. Stop taking your instructions from Captain Jameson and leave June alone. Oh my gosh. We got into the basement, and then Katie sets off the electro bomb, and like all the lights go out, and then June just jumps across and like slits all the electrical cords, and then like pushes Thomas, and then leaps up the stairs. I was like, oh my gosh, go June, go. I was like, Thomas, you deserve to be down there. You don't deserve to be in any of the action. Just stay out of the way. Just get out of here. And then, okay, so she goes and they rescue Day. She's going and she does a really, really quick calculation. Okay, I am not good at math, and I will admit that no matter what. I hate math and I'm not good at it. It's self-fulfilling prophecy, really. So she's just like, oh, we're not gonna make it. It's like 250 feet and we're just moving at this pace and it's not gonna work. So then John, oh my goodness, John. He's like, yes, you are, and then takes the blindfold off of Day and like runs back. I was like, no, John. I was like, that was the whole point of being there, because we were gonna save both of you. I really thought that when she told Day that, like, what happened once he saw it, he was gonna turn on her and be like, this is all your fault. Why didn't you stop him? But of course they have to be happy. Well, not happy. I mean, they're on the run from the Republic, and they're both killed. They are targets of the Republic. And they're fleeing the country together. It's just so sad. Especially after he just lost his mom, and he had to watch it happen, and then he had to watch John get shot, and then Eden is still nowhere to be found. We don't know, we just know that he's in the hospital, and he's patient 0. So what is patient 0? We know that the plague thing was concocted by the Republic, and so it's being distributed out through the districts by these, like, the underwater plumbing systems, which is like the red door. First when she like called attention to the red door when Day did, and he was like, oh, there's one underneath my house too. And I could hear the same sounds. And I was like, that's really random. I really hope that she gets to it later, but right now it's not that interesting. Like, just do what's happening, because it was always the most intense spell. Like when him and Tess are underneath the bridge, and then the guys come out, and they're just like right up there, so they press against the thing, and we're like, oh no, they're gonna get caught. Oh, there's a red door. And then when he goes and he's like trying to save his mom, and brothers from the Republic, like the medic and the military people, like underneath the porch, and he's like, oh, a red door. I was like, not now, Dave. Your observation, that is perfectly astute and can see all the minuscule details, can wait a second. But it's really creepy. I mean, it's a good dystopian twist that we see them trying to bring all the plagues through to control people, but the little ominous leaving off that June gave us from Matthias was that they would finally produce a plague that they couldn't stop, and it would overrun everything. So I'm wondering if that will take play next in Prodigy or Champion, which I'm really sad because it doesn't come in for another 4 days, because I ordered it instead of going to the bookstore. I have no patience. Not for these things. It's not fair. Not cool. Okay. I think that's enough ranting for now. I hope that you guys really enjoyed that book. I did. I can't wait for Prodigy, and then go to Champion, and I will also do book talks on those once I get to there, and we will see what happens next. Subscribe to my channel if you like these things, or don't, but I'm gonna tell you, have a super fantastic day, and I will see you guys later. Maybe.